Captain Alex Mercer had faced danger before, but nothing like Zifra. The planet hung in the void like a jewel, its surface glowing with strange bioluminescent forests and rivers that shimmered with golden light. The mission had seemed simple at first: investigate unusual energy readings, take notes, and return home. But as Alex descended in his small exploration shuttle, a sense of unease settled in his chest. The landing zone was a massive plateau surrounded by towering crystalline cliffs. The air shimmered with energy, making his instruments go haywire. He stepped out, feeling the soft, almost glowing grass beneath his boots. A breeze carried a scent he couldn't identify as sweet but metallic, like flowers growing in the light of a dying star. He pulled his comm unit closer. Control, this is Mercer. Landing complete. Area looks unusual. I'm going to proceed on foot. Static crackled for a moment, then the reply came. Roger, Mercer. Stay alert. Zifra readings are unlike anything we've seen. Your safety is priority. Report any life forms immediately. Alex nodded, though he knew they couldn't see him. His eyes scanned the horizon, noting the enormous structures rising ahead. Towers of transparent crystal stretched into the sky, glowing with a soft blue light. It was impossible to tell where nature ended and architecture began. Then he saw movement of figures stepping out from the largest tower dot at first. Alex thought it was another alien soldier, but as the figure approached, he realized it was different. She moved with elegance, almost gliding across the ground. Her skin shimmered faintly under Zifra's sunlight, like liquid silver, and her eyes were a deep violet, glowing softly. Her hair floated behind her as if caught in a breeze he couldn't feel. She was beautiful, striking, and commanding in a way that made Alex instinctively stand at attention. Captain Alex Mercer. The figure said, her voice musical yet firm. I am Princess Leora of Zifra. You have come far to see our world. Alex blinked, adjusting his stance. Princess. Leora, I didn't expect a royal to greet me personally. Leora's gaze swept over him, sharp and curious. You are not afraid. Human. Interesting. Most beings shrink in my presence. You do not. She took another step closer, her eyes locked on his. Curiosity, perhaps, or courage. Either way, it pleases me. Alex swallowed hard. I'm trained for exploration. I've faced hostile worlds before, though I admit yours is unique. Leora tilted her head, studying him like a scientist examining a specimen. Then she stepped aside, gesturing toward the palace behind her. Come, we have much to discuss. And tonight, her eyes sparkled with an intensity Alex could not read. You will share my bed. Alex froze, confusion and disbelief mixing in his mind. Excuse me? I don't understand. Why would Leora raised a hand, cutting him off? Do not misunderstand. This is a Zifran custom, Captain. Sharing a bed is a ritual of trust, nothing more. Refusal would insult me and my people. Alex's mind raced. He had trained for diplomacy, negotiation, and combat, but nothing in his experience had prepared him for this. Sharing a bed with a royal alien? He had to remind himself not to panic. Ritual of trust, he repeated cautiously. All right, I understand. I will comply. A faint smile appeared on Leora's face. Wise, many humans would be foolish enough to refuse without thought. You are promising. As they entered the palace, Alex's eyes widened. The interior was unlike anything he had seen before. Crystal walls reflected light in shifting patterns, casting dancing shadows across the polished floors. Strange plants, bioluminescent and pulsing, lined the hallways. Servants, humanoid but with subtle alien features, elongated limbs. Skin that seemed to shift color moved quietly, bowing as Leora passed. Alex followed her, careful not to look too amazed, though it was difficult. Princess, your world. It's incredible, he said. It is mine, Leora replied softly, almost to herself. Then, louder, she said, and now it is yours for tonight. She led him into a chamber at the far end of the hall. The room was large, filled with soft, glowing light. A bed, larger than any Alex had ever seen, floated slightly above the floor. Surrounded by walls of shimmering crystal. Alex paused at the doorway. It's beautiful, but I still don't understand the ritual fully. What am I expected to do? Leora's violet eyes sparkle with amusement. Human customs are simple, yes? But this ritual is not about what you do. It is about presence, observation, and honesty. You will lie beside me. No words are required, though I am certain your mind will chatter enough for the both of us. Alex swallowed. His logical mind struggled to keep up, but he knew better than to question her further. Understood. Presence, observation, honesty. He gave a small nod. Leora stepped onto the floating bed, her movements graceful. Come, human, sit. Tonight, we begin. A connection. Alex stepped forward cautiously, placing one foot on the bed and then the other. Gravity felt slightly different here, as if the planet itself was lighter. He lowered himself beside her, keeping a careful distance. The moment their sides nearly touched, he felt a warmth not just physical, but something deeper. A subtle energy that made his own heartbeat feel different. You feel it? Leora asked softly, though Alex realized she wasn't speaking aloud. The question entered his mind directly, clear and calm. Yes, he admitted, surprised that her thoughts reached him without effort. It's strange, powerful. Strange is a human word, she replied with a faint smile. Powerful is accurate. Humans possess something rare. Courage, curiosity, unpredictability. I sensed it even before you landed. That is why you are here. Alex swallowed again, unsure whether to feel honored or nervous. I hope I do not disappoint. You will not. Humans often surprise me in ways my people rarely do. That is why this ritual is important. Trust and observation reveal more than words. You will see my world, and I will see yours. The rest of the night passed in quiet observation. Alex remained alert but relaxed under Leora's watchful eyes. He could feel her presence, like a gentle wave brushing against his mind. He had faced hostile environments, rogue is, and alien predators, but this was new. A connection that was deeper than physical. A mental bond that demanded honesty, calm, and patience occasionally. Leora would direct small questions at him about Earth, about humanity, about how he survived in dangerous situations. Alex answered honestly, finding that the princess listened not just with interest, but with admiration. He began to see her not as a threat, but as someone burdened with responsibility and isolation. Hours passed, and the soft glow of Zifra's twin moons filled the room. Alex realized he had not slept, yet he did not feel tired. There was too much to absorb: the palace, the planet, and the alien princess whose bold demand had started this all. Finally, Leora shifted slightly, her gaze resting on him. You have done well, human. The night reveals more than words. You have proven patience, courage, and adaptability, qualities few beings possess. Alex, trying to hide his awe, simply nodded. Thank you, princess. I have learned much already, and I am eager to see more of your world. She smiled faintly, a mixture of approval and curiosity. So shall it be? But remember this, human, Zifra is not gentle. Challenges await, but tonight you have earned my trust. As the first light of the alien dawn began to filter through the crystal walls, Alex felt a sense of accomplishment. He had survived the initial test, navigated an alien ritual, and begun a connection unlike anything he had ever experienced. The night had been strange, intense, and enlightening, and he knew, without a doubt, that his journey on Zifra was only beginning. Outside the palace, the planet shimmered, alive with energy and mystery. Inside, to beings human and alien shared more than a bed. They shared the first threads of understanding, trust, and a bond that would grow stronger in ways neither could yet predict. Alex Mercer, human explorer, had arrived on Zifra, and Princess Leora had already marked him as extraordinary. The morning light on Zifra was unlike anything Alex Mercer had seen on Earth. The sky shimmered with hues of violet and gold, reflecting off the floating crystal towers of the palace. Outside, rivers glowed faintly, snaking through the alien forests like veins of light. It was beautiful, but Alex had little time to admire it. Princess Leora awaited him for the first lesson, and Zifram cultural lesson he realized was far more complicated than any Earth protocol manual could explain. Rise. Human, Leora said, her voice calm but commanding. Today, you learn why trust is a powerful weapon. Alex stood, stretching. I'm ready, Princess. Though I must admit, I'm still trying to understand your bed-sharing ritual. Leora tilted her head, her violet eyes sparkling with amusement. Understand it fully, and you may survive more than curiosity alone would allow. You see, in Zifran culture, sharing a bed is not about intimacy as humans know it. It is about honesty, observation, and awareness. When one shares a bed, one becomes aware of the other's presence in a way words cannot capture. It is a test, yes, but also a gift. Humans call it a bond. We call it survival. Alex blinked, trying to process this. So, it's a test of trust? Leora nodded. Precisely. And humans, I have discovered, are unpredictable. That is why you are interesting. You do not shrink. You do not falter. I see your mind racing even as your body remains still. As they moved through the palace, Alex observed everything with sharp attention. The servants were elegant, yet silent, performing their tasks with precision. The palace itself was alive with subtle energy. The crystals lining the walls pulsed faintly in rhythm with Zifra's twin moons. He noticed faint hums of power that even his most sensitive instruments couldn't measure. It was a world designed to impress and test the mind, Captain Mercer, Leora said. Breaking his thoughts, you must understand one truth about my people. Strength is admired, but intelligence is revered. To survive here, you must show both. Do you think humans are capable of such wisdom? Alex paused, considering. I think humans can adapt. We've survived countless environments, conflicts, and disasters. We learn, we observe, and we find solutions that others might miss. If intelligence is survival, I would say yes. We are capable. Leora's lips curved in a faint smile. Good, then you may yet prove yourself. But knowledge is not enough. One must act wisely, with courage, and with patience. Their first destination was the Hall of Mirrors, a vast chamber where Zifran students and diplomats practiced psychic connection exercises. The walls were made of reflective crystal, but instead of showing a physical reflection, they displayed one's thoughts and intentions. Alex stepped inside, awed. His own thoughts, memories of Earth, his training, and curiosity flickered across the crystal surfaces, visible for all to see. Do not be afraid. Human, Leora instructed. Here, honesty is literal. Your mind reveals more than words ever could. It is here you will learn the true purpose of sharing my bed. Alex nodded, though unease churned in his stomach. He had trained to face alien species, rogue AI, and deadly environments. But this was a different kind of exposure. Vulnerability in its purest form. He had never experienced a psychic connection of any kind. And now he was expected to maintain composure while his thoughts were reflected for all to see. Leora sat across from him, her presence calm yet commanding. She reached out, and Alex felt a subtle pressure in his mind, a gentle probing of his thoughts. Do not resist, she said. Resisting is what causes fear. Sharing your mind fully allows trust to grow. Alex took a deep breath and allowed himself to relax. Memories of Earth, the forests he had hiked through, the nights under stars, the friends and family he had left behind flowed into the psychic field. Leora responded in kind, revealing flashes of her own life, the weight of royal duty, battles she had witnessed, and the loneliness of a princess surrounded by loyal yet cautious advisors. It was strange, intimate, and fascinating. Alex began to understand why humans were unusual to Leora. His mind was not perfect, not entirely logical, but it was flexible, creative, and surprisingly brave. Leora's mind, in contrast, was precise, disciplined, and filled with strategic qualities honed over centuries. Together, their thoughts intertwined like rivers merging into one, each learning from the other. You see, human, Leora said softly, her voice echoing in his mind, your adaptability is rare. You survive not because you are strongest, but because you are clever, curious, and willing to take risks. These traits are fascinating. Alex felt a blush rise to his cheeks, though Leora could see it in his thoughts, not his face. "I thank you, Princess. I never expected my mind would impress anyone, let alone a royal alien." Leora chuckled, a soft, musical sound that echoed in the hall. "Do not mistake fascination for flattery, human. It is observation, and observation teaches survival. If you wish to live among my people, you must understand this. Trust is earned not through words, but through actions and presence." Their lessons continued throughout the day. Alex learned about Zifran history, their battles against hostile species, and the intricate web of alliances that kept the planet at peace. Leora asked questions about Earth, human governments, and the ways humans solve conflicts. She was curious about human creativity, persistence, and courage. Each answer impressed her further, reinforcing her belief that humans were extraordinary in subtle, unexpected ways. During a break, Alex and Leora walked through the palace gardens, where plants pulsed gently with light, responding to their movements. Leora explained that Zifrans communicated not only through words, but also through subtle energy cues. Much like the plants reacting to their presence, you will notice, human, Leora said, gesturing to the glowing flora, that our world responds to honesty. It feels deception. It senses hesitation. Your species is unpredictable, yes, but that unpredictability can be a strength. If wielded wisely, Alex nodded, looking around. So it's not just about strength or skill. It's about integrity, being true, even in the smallest details. Exactly, Leora said, her eyes gleaming. Tonight, when we share the bed again, you will not just lie beside me. You will show me your presence, your awareness, and your courage. That is why this ritual exists. It is not comfort. It is preparation for challenges that words cannot teach. As the sun dipped lower, the palace filled with the soft glow of evening, Alex prepared himself mentally for the night ahead, realizing that his journey on Zifra was changing. He was no longer just an explorer. He was a participant in a living, breathing world that demanded respect, intelligence, and trust. That night, as he returned to the floating chamber, Leora was already there, waiting. She gestured for him to lie beside her, her gaze calm and expectant. Alex followed, keeping a respectful distance at first. But as the psychic connection re-established, he began to feel something profound, a sense of understanding, respect, and even camaraderie. "You have done well today, human," Leora said, her voice gentle but firm. "You are learning quickly. Soon, your mind and presence will be indistinguishable from your actions." "That is the ultimate test of trust," Alex nodded, focusing on maintaining calm and awareness. The night passed with quiet observation and shared thoughts. He realized that Zifrans valued subtlety, precision, and presence above all. The lessons of the day were only beginning to take root in his mind, and he felt a growing bond with the princess, one based not on fear or obligation, but on mutual respect and understanding. By the time dawn approached, Alex had learned more about Zifra, its people, and its culture than he could have imagined, and he understood that the bold demand of the princess, "You will share my bed tonight," was not a whim, but a doorway into a world where humans could survive not just by strength, but by curiosity, intelligence, and the courage to be honest and true. As he stepped out of the chamber into the glowing morning light, Alex knew one thing with certainty: his journey on Zifra had only begun, and the lessons he learned tonight would shape every choice, every action, and every bond in the days to come. For the first time, Alex Mercer felt that being human might be enough to face the unknown, and that, perhaps, it was enough to impress even an alien princess. The palace of Zifra was alive with motion, though much of it remained hidden from view. Shadows moved across the crystal walls, whispers traveled through corridors, and eyes unseen watched every visitor and every resident. For Captain Alex Mercer, the palace no longer felt like a mere architectural wonder. It was a living puzzle, a maze of power, loyalty, and secrets. He had spent the day learning the Zifran customs, practicing the rituals of observation and presence that Princess Leora had taught him. But now, as night approached, he sensed tension in the air. It was subtle, a vibration through the palace. Floors and walls, almost like the planet itself, was warning him. He glanced at Leora, who stood at a balcony, her violet eyes scanning the horizon with a calm precision that belied her alertness. "Princess," Alex began, "I sense something is wrong. There's tension, something approaching." Leora turned, her expression unreadable. "Your senses are sharper than I expected. Human. Yes, there are movements in the northern districts. Rivals, ambitious and impatient. They believe you are a threat to their influence." Alex frowned. "They think me a threat. I'm just visiting." Leora's lips curved into a faint, almost imperceptible smile. "Humans are unpredictable, yes? But that unpredictability is useful. Those who would undermine me underestimate you and underestimate the value of curiosity and intelligence. That is their first mistake." Before Alex could respond, alarms echoed through the palace. Crystal panels flashed red, and a soft hum of energy intensified around them. The palace guards, humanoid and graceful, moved into formation, their motions swift and precise. Alex realized this was no simple threat. Someone intended to test him, to see if he could survive in Zifra's world of subtle dangers. Leora extended her hand, and once again, Alex felt the psychic connection. "You must act, human, observe, predict, and decide. Your presence is more important than ever. Do you trust your instincts?" Alex nodded. "I do. I've faced dangerous situations before. I'll help." Leora's gaze softened for a moment, then hardened. "Good. Follow me." They moved swiftly through hidden corridors that Alex had not noticed before. The architecture of the palace was like a puzzle, designed to conceal and protect. Leora guided him to a tactical chamber filled with holographic projections of the city and palace. Rival factions, represented by glowing markers, shifted as they moved. "Here is where you learn the difference between human instinct and alien strategy," Leora said. "Our enemies calculate and predict. They rely on precision. Humans, you rely on creativity and adaptability. That is your strength." Alex studied the projections carefully. "If they're aiming to destabilize your rule, we need to anticipate their moves and protect your key allies." Leora nodded. "Exactly. But remember, our enemies do not always attack openly. Subtlety is their ally. You must think like a human and like a Zifran, combining both to survive." Hours passed as Alex worked with Leora, learning to read the subtle cues of the holographic simulations and understanding the motives of the factions. He realized that, unlike Earth politics, Zifran intrigue relied heavily on influence, perception, and psychic manipulation. One wrong move could cost lives, yet the human mind, with its unpredictability and flexible thinking, added a new dimension that Leora found fascinating. As they planned, the palace suddenly shuddered. A distant explosion rocked the northern district, sending shards of crystal humming through the floors. Alex's heart raced. "They're attacking now," he shouted. Leora's expression remained calm. "Observe, predict, move." Together, they directed the palace defenses. Holographic controls translated into real energy barriers that rose instantly, blocking intruders and protecting vulnerable points. Alex's intuition allowed them to anticipate the enemy's path, diverting attacks and protecting key personnel. The guards followed his suggestions, surprised at his quick thinking and clever strategies. One of the intruders, a rogue faction leader, had breached the outer defenses and was heading for the central chamber. Alex and Leora acted immediately. Using a combination of Zifran technology and human improvisation, they created a trap. Alex's suggestion to collapse a corridor just enough to delay the intruder, without harming anyone, proved effective. The leader was captured, and the palace remained secure. Leora turned to Alex, her violet eyes shining with approval. "Impressive. Your human adaptability saved lives tonight. Many of my advisors would have hesitated or miscalculated. You acted decisively and wisely." Alex, breathing heavily from the adrenaline, smiled faintly. "It's what humans do. We adapt, we survive, and we protect when we can. I didn't expect to be strategizing with a princess tonight, but it seems life has other plans." Leora's laugh was soft, musical, and filled with something Alex could not name: admiration, perhaps, or approval. Life often has plans, human, and some plans require trust between very different beings. You have proven yourself capable of more than survival. You have proven your value. The psychic connection between them, strengthened by the night's events, deepened further. Alex could sense Leora's respect, her curiosity, and her acknowledgement of human ingenuity. For her, humans were unpredictable, but in a way that inspired confidence rather than fear. After the attack was quelled, the palace returned to a tense calm. Leora led Alex to the gardens once more, where the alien flora pulsed softly in the evening light. "You see, human," she said, "Zifra thrives on balance, strength, intelligence. And presence must coexist. You have learned well today. But this is only the beginning." Alex looked around, marveling at the glowing plants and the harmony of the gardens. "I see that now. Your world is beautiful, but it's also dangerous. And I think I'm beginning to understand why your rituals are so important. They teach awareness, trust, and preparation," Leora confirmed. "But they also teach something else: respect. Respect for life, for power, and for the unpredictable nature of those we encounter. Humans are strange creatures, Captain Mercer. You survive by respecting the unknown and adapting. That is why you are different." Alex smiled faintly. "Different, huh? I guess humans have surprises even for aliens." Leora's eyes sparkled. "Indeed. And tonight, we test another aspect of your presence. Are you ready?" Alex took a deep breath. "I am. Whatever this test is, I'll face it." They returned to the floating chamber, where the bed awaited. But tonight was not just about lying beside Leora. It was about observation, strategy, and trust under pressure. The palace had shown its dangers, and Alex had risen to meet them. Now, the ritual would become a demonstration of mental endurance as well as patience. As they positioned themselves, the psychic connection flowed freely between them. Alex could sense subtle shifts in Leora's thoughts, her careful assessment of his reactions, and her quiet appreciation of his courage and intelligence. He, in turn, remained aware of his own presence, controlling fear, curiosity, and anticipation. Presenting nothing but calm focus, the hours passed with quiet observation, telepathic dialogue, and silent learning. Alex realized that Zifrans valued more than strength. They valued subtlety, awareness, and trust. Leora's bold demand, once confusing and intimidating, had become a lesson in patience, courage, and understanding. By dawn, Alex felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He had survived an attack, helped protect the palace, and begun to understand the delicate balance of trust and awareness that defined Zifra. And through it all, he had earned not just Leora's respect, but her acknowledgement that humans, though small and seemingly fragile, could wield qualities that were truly extraordinary. Standing beside her on the balcony, overlooking the glowing forests and rivers below, Alex realized that being human was not a weakness. On Zifra, courage, intelligence, and adaptability could be as powerful as psychic abilities and alien technology. And Princess Leora, for all her strength and wisdom, now saw him as more than a visitor. He was an ally, a strategist, and perhaps the first human she had ever truly understood. "Tonight, we rest," Leora said, her voice calm but firm. "Tomorrow, challenges will continue, but so will your growth. You are learning quickly, human, and that may be the most valuable trait of all." Alex nodded, feeling a quiet pride. "I'll do my best, Princess. I'll keep learning, and I'll keep proving that humans can rise to challenges, no matter how alien." She regarded him for a moment, eyes filled with quiet admiration. "Indeed, and that is why you survive, human. Not because you are the strongest, but because you are clever, curious, and unafraid of what you do not yet understand." As the first light of Zifra's twin suns peeked over the horizon, Alex realized something profound. This world, with its dangers, beauty, and lessons, had already changed him. And as he prepared for the next challenge, he knew one thing with certainty: humans, though small, could leave a mark even on alien civilizations. and perhaps even inspire respect in those who thought themselves invincible. For now, though, he allowed himself a moment of calm, knowing that tomorrow would bring new challenges, new intrigue, and new opportunities to prove that humans were truly extraordinary. And with Princess Leora by his side, watching, learning, and trusting, he felt ready for anything. The morning sun of Zifra cast a golden glow over the floating palace towers. Yet the serenity was deceptive. Hidden in the northern districts, a rival faction had captured one of Princess Leora's closest advisors. The attack had been subtle, designed to destabilize the palace without open confrontation, and it required immediate action. Alex Mercer, standing beside Leora on the balcony, felt the familiar surge of adrenaline. He had faced challenges before: alien worlds, hostile environments, and now even the subtle politics of Zifra. But this mission was different. This was personal. The advisor's life and the reputation of the princess depended on his decisions. Princess, Alex said, his voice calm but urgent, we can't wait. We need a plan to retrieve your advisor before they reach the northern cliffs. I believe I have an approach. Leora studied him, violet eyes assessing his confidence. Explain. Alex gestured toward the holographic map projected between them. They've taken a route through narrow passes. If we use the floating platforms for distraction and the energy barriers for cover, we can intercept them without direct confrontation. My plan relies on speed, misdirection, and observation. It's unconventional, but it could work. Leora's lips curved slightly. Unconventional is often human strength. Proceed, Captain Mercer. You have my trust. The palace guards moved swiftly under their combined direction. Alex coordinated with the Zifran technology, using his human instincts to anticipate the enemy's moves. He noticed small cues: the holograms highlighted shifts in energy, changes in footfalls that indicated the faction was expecting a straightforward pursuit. Using this knowledge, he altered the path of the palace defenses, creating diversions and opening gaps in the enemy's approach. As they advanced, Alex and Leora communicated silently through their psychic bond. No words were necessary. Their thoughts intertwined, allowing precise coordination. Alex guided the guards, predicting where the enemy would concentrate their defenses and suggesting maneuvers that leveraged the environment. Leora watched, impressed by his quick thinking and ability to merge human intuition with Zifran technology. When they reached the narrow passes, Alex noticed that the enemy had set a trap energy net stretched across the cliffs, designed to capture anyone following. He immediately devised a plan. We'll use the floating platforms to create a false approach, he explained mentally to Leora. They'll think we are advancing from one side, but we'll flank them from above. Leora nodded. Clever. Human ingenuity strikes again. The plan worked. As the enemy scrambled to adjust to the apparent threat, Alex led a small team along the less obvious path. They moved silently, efficiently, and arrived at the captive advisor before the enemy could react, using energy barriers to block retreat and carefully calculated force to subdue the guards. Alex and Leora freed the advisor without a single casualty. The advisor, shaken but unharmed, looked at Alex with awe. Captain Mercer, your strategy, it saved my life. Alex gave a small, humble smile. It was teamwork and a little luck. Leora stepped forward, placing a hand on Alex's shoulder. It was more than luck. It was human courage and adaptability. You think quickly, act wisely, and respect life. That is why humans are extraordinary, even to those of us who see centuries pass. Alex felt a warmth at her words, but also humility. He had not acted to impress. He had acted to protect. Yet in doing so, he had earned a level of trust that few outsiders ever achieved on Zifra. The palace returned to calm, but the lessons of the day lingered. Alex and Leora walked through the gardens once more, the glowing flora responding softly to their presence. For the first time, Alex allowed himself to ask a personal question. Princess, why do you trust me so completely? You've seen so many beings in your lifetime, and yet, you chose me to stand beside you in danger. Leora paused, considering her words. Because you are human. You are unpredictable, yes, but in ways that inspire confidence rather than fear. You are honest, not out of obligation, but out of instinct. You act with courage, but not recklessness. That combination, it is rare. And it is why you have survived on Zifra, Captain Mercer. That is why I trust you? Alex nodded, absorbing her words. He realized that survival was not just about physical skill or intelligence, it was about integrity, presence, and the willingness to adapt under pressure. Humans were small, yes, but their qualities could leave a lasting impact, even on a civilization as advanced as ZYPHORA. As night fell, the palace settled into quiet reflection. Alex returned to the floating chamber for the final session of the day. The bed, once intimidating, now symbolized trust and connection rather than mere ritual. Leora gestured for him to lie beside her, and he did, maintaining focus and awareness. The psychic link strengthened further. Alex could sense Leora's thoughts, her reflections on the day's events, and her growing respect for human adaptability. In turn, he could feel her burdens, the weight of leadership, the loneliness of responsibility, and the desire for allies who could understand and share her challenges. You have proven yourself tonight, Leora said softly, not because you acted recklessly, but because you observed, adapted, and protected. These are qualities my people admire, but they are rare among humans. That is why I have watched you so closely, and that is why I trust you now. Alex felt a quiet pride, tempered with humility. I thank you, Princess. I only acted to protect and to do my best. But your trust, it means a lot. Leora's eyes glimmered with something Alex could not name. Trust is earned, human, and you have earned it, not by skill alone, but by your presence, your honesty, and your courage. That is why you share my bed tonight, not as a gesture of intimacy, but as a recognition of respect and alliance. Alex nodded, understanding fully now. The ritual, once confusing and intimidating, had become a profound lesson in connection, trust, and mutual respect. It was not about fear, desire, or obligation. It was about acknowledging each other's presence, strength, and integrity. The night passed quietly, each of them observing, learning, and connecting in ways that words could not convey. Alex realized that he had grown, not just as a human or an explorer, but as a participant in a civilization that valued intelligence, courage, and honesty above all. And Leora, for her part, had gained a human ally whose qualities complemented her own, someone whose adaptability and insight could shape the future of her world. As dawn approached, Alex rose from the bed, feeling a sense of completion. He had survived danger, proven his worth, and earned the trust of a princess whose people had rarely trusted outsiders. Leora stood beside him, watching the horizon. You have changed how I see humans, she said quietly. Your courage, creativity, and adaptability are inspiring. Few outsiders leave such an impression. Few earn trust so quickly. Alex smiled faintly. Perhaps humans are small in size, but not in spirit. We survive, adapt, and rise to challenges, even alien ones. Leora regarded him with a thoughtful gaze. Indeed, and that is why our bond matters, human. You are not just an ally, you are a symbol of what your kind can achieve. And that is why I trust you, and why this connection will endure beyond these walls. For the first time, Alex truly understood the weight and meaning of Zifran rituals, the power of trust, and the strength of human qualities in a universe full of wonders and dangers. And he knew, without a doubt, that his presence on Zifra had left a mark not just on the planet, but on the princess herself. As the first light of Zifra's twin suns filled the palace, Alex and Leora stood together, not as human and alien, but as partners bound by respect, understanding, and the recognition of each other's extraordinary qualities. The journey that had begun with a bold demand, "You will share my bed tonight," had become a testament to human ingenuity, adaptability, and courage. And as the planet glowed beneath them, Alex Mercer realized something profound. Even in a galaxy filled with alien wonders, the human spirit could shine brighter than any crystal tower, survive any challenge, and earn the respect of even the most extraordinary beings. The adventure was far from over, but one truth remained clear: Humans were not just visitors in the universe, they were survivors, thinkers, and heroes in ways that even alien civilizations could admire. And Princess Leora, having witnessed it firsthand, knew that this human was extraordinary.